13 Reasons Why has quickly developed a variety of opinions on whether or not the show is helping increase suicide awareness. We sat down with students to hear their thoughts on the Netflix original.
Spring cleaning got underway this weekend on Marquette's campus, but who else lent a helping hand?
The fire that damaged UWM's campus earlier this month is still affecting the campus even after it has been put out. So how are students handling the change of pace?
There was damage in all 3 buildings.
And yesterday, Marquette held a special event thanking thousands of individuals for their contributions to the university. All this and more coming up on the 414.
Live from Marquette, this is your campus news source, MUTV News.
Welcome to the 414. I'm Max Templin.
And I'm Shamama Mahmood. Suicide and mental health are topics that resonate with many young adults. Over 1,000 suicides occur on college campuses every year.
We have 2 reports tonight as part of our all-student media project, Breaking the Silence.
We'll start with one Netflix series about suicide that has sparked debate. Brian Morrissey has the story.
A fictional character is making a lot of noise in the real world.
13 Reasons Why follows the story of a girl, high school student Hannah Baker, who eventually makes the decision to kill herself. And in the process, she leaves behind a series of 13 tapes that depict either a story or a person and how that event made her decide to end her life.
Andrew Doran is currently on episode 9. He believes the message is clear.
And really puts in like a perspective that everything that you do or say to someone really does matter.
But others are concerned.
It's just not something that should be meant for entertainment.
Mary Paterkavich is a senior in the College of Arts and Sciences at Marquette. She has aspirations to work in counseling.
They almost made it seem like a counselor or something like that could be like the end-all be-all of why someone does something.
Kate Stoles refuses to watch the show.
In September, I lost my sister to suicide.
She believes more could be done for prevention.
One of my biggest complaints with the show is that they're not doing anything for people who are having suicidal thoughts. So on the show, there's no suicide hotline at the end.
In the U.S., suicide is the second leading cause of death for ages 15 to 24. Active Minds is a suicide prevention group at Marquette.
And basically what we do is we want to spread awareness on campus to destigmatize issues surrounding mental health.
Michelle Frederick believes that the show started a discussion that is normally difficult for people to have.
I will say even in really negative conversations I've had on mental health or in the media, what it did is it spurred a conversation and it said, okay, why did this make us uncomfortable? Why was this triggersome? And then you can talk through the problems.
From Milwaukee, I'm Brian Morrissey, MUTV News.
A new UW-Madison survey shows 40% of students agree that people would be perceived differently if they had received mental help. Health officials say these numbers are not uncommon. Student organizations at UW-Madison, as well as on Marquette's campus, have begun advocating to fight the stigma against mental illness.
Breaking the Silence is a collaborative multimedia project by the Marquette Wire aimed toward breaking the silence around the topics of depression and suicide. Terry Bequeth has a podcast and a mission to do just that. MUTV's Cheyenne Fisher has the story.
Suicide claims about 800,000 lives a year.
That is mind-boggling and very, very sad.
Yeah. And you know, both our podcast and the World Health Organization say by talking, you know, by needing to vocalize your experience, by reaching out and connecting with another person, by asking for help, that really is the first step.
It is the first huge step, just talking about it, and that's what we're trying to do here is normalize depression and all of the things that relate to it.
Terry McGuire and her sister Bridget are best friends. Together, they host a podcast, Terry in studio and her sister via Skype.
We are literally giving voice to something that has not been talked about and has been sort of kept in the shadows. And we're hoping that by hearing it, you just understand it better. And now we're learning that telling it has a therapeutic value as well, because you're pulling the curtain back on your own secret.
And so many share the same secret.
Bill, Reed, Catherine, I mean, these are all people who reached out to us asking if we would interview them.
In hope of helping others.
And today we will talk with Medi Spees.
I fought really hard to get to a place where I came out on the other side. I could see that beauty on the other side of depression and grief of losing a loved one to suicide.
The podcast is posted on their website, iTunes, and SoundCloud, but it all starts right here in the studio.
In terms of actually, waking up in the morning and going, let's do this, it wasn't there. Now it is, and that's a really nice thing. It's if this is my last job, I'm glad I picked one that is having an impact.
From Splice Media Marketing, I'm Cheyenne Fisher for MUTV News.
The Marquette Wire is hosting a live TV forum for their project titled Breaking the Silence. The discussion is to help raise awareness about college-age suicide. It will feature several segments ranging from personal stories to mental health experts. Those planning on attending are asked to RSVP through the Marquette Wire's Facebook page.
A suspected drunk driver who struck and killed a UW-Madison student is being charged with homicide by drunk driving. 32-year-old Kong Vang was driving with twice the illegal amount of alcohol in his blood when he struck 22-year-old Wendy Hai as she was walking down the sidewalk last Monday. Hai was taken to the hospital where she passed away.
April is Sexual Awareness Month. Seniors from the Marquette Empowerment Group, Madeline Farley and Jess Zuminski, are also helping to raise awareness. Nicholas Delive has more.
Senior Madeline Farley read Stanford assault survivor Emily Doe's victim impact statement last summer. She was moved.
And I was completely blown away. I was reading it, and it was like, wow.
She wanted to give a face and a voice to survivors like Emily Doe, and started working on a project where she would read these powerful words aloud to an audience.
And then I ended up dropping the project because I felt like I wasn't the right person to do it.
However, that changed.
100 days from graduation, I was sexually assaulted in my apartment building.
With the help and support of her friend Jess Zuminski, she returned to the project.
We no longer felt as though it was something that happened around us. It had now become something that happened to us.
Together, they created Stanford Marquette.
Freaking out a little bit.
1 in 5 women and 1 in 12 men will be sexually assaulted in college. And this event gave survivors a chance to stand in solidarity and share their stories.
I'm so much more than what he made me think I was.
Stanford Marquette was a chance for Madeline to wear her heart on her sleeve, literally and figuratively.
I was sexually assaulted, and instead of seeing this dress as a representation of what happened that night, I could see it as a representation of the amazing people that surround me every day and the amazing support I have.
From the AMU, I'm Nicholas Delivre, MUTV News.
Another way Marquette is showing support is by taking part in Denim Day. Denim Day is a symbol in a firm stance against sexual violence and an effort to show support for the survivors of sexual assault. Denim Day began as a protest against a 1997 Italian court case in which a convicted rapist sentence was overturned. The court ruled that because the victim's jeans were tight, the victim must have assisted in their removal, making the sex act consensual. The women in the Italian parliament were enraged and protested by wearing jeans to work.
The Marquette Law School is giving a $5.5 million gift. The law school will establish the Lubar Center for Public Policy Research and Civic Education after Sheldon and Marianne Lubar's donation. The center will support public policy research initiatives and civic education work at the law school and beyond.
Newly elected president of the Milwaukee School of Engineering, John Walls, wants to help the school feel more like a traditional campus. MSOE is planning to build a new residence hall within the next few years. The campus is also expected to expand with a 1.8-acre parking lot. MSOE expects to conduct 2 studies this summer in order to inform its strategic planning, which is to begin this fall.
A fire that caused over $1 million worth of damages to UWM's campus left the theater department devastated. MUTV's Max Navarra checked in with the students and faculty to see how they are staying positive.
Inside UWM's Peck School of the Arts, you can hear the sweet melodies of music. But once you step outside, the sounds of construction are overwhelming. A fire on campus left the inside of the theater building charred and unusable.
There was a fire in our theater building, which is somewhat that way. The theater building is connected to the art building and the music building.
UWM theater students were in the midst of rehearsing their spring play.
Things that we know were lost in theater are set for Arcadia, probably some personal belongings, They're trying to salvage most of the costumes. Some props were salvageable, but we don't have a final tally yet.
The news of the fire spread not only across UWM's campus, but also to members of the surrounding community.
The whole first week we were unable to get into the building, but by Wednesday a bunch of different community groups had volunteered to give us their spaces. A lot of different buildings on campus volunteered up their free spaces. So there's been a lot of support coming from both within the campus and outside of the campus.
But the show must go on, and the Milwaukee Repertory Theater has offered their stage.
Our students see it as a challenge, and they're all very excited about going to Milwaukee Repertory Theater. So I think that's like just one of the most amazing things to me, that they could be so discouraged, but they're really, really upbeat and positive and responding well.
At UWM, I'm Max Navarro, MUTV News.
Coming up after the break, we have a recap from this past week's hunger cleanup.
And Amelia Jones will let us know what kind of weather we can have expecting into tomorrow morning. Welcome back to the 414.
Hunger cleanup is Marquette's largest day of service, but many may not know the Milwaukee community is also getting involved.
MUTV's Leah Harris has more from this past weekend.
Nothing brings the community together like a little bit of service and a little bit of support.
For you, Mr. Marvin, do you want to put your book bag in?
Nicole Franklin has been the backbone of the COA Youth and Family Center for 11 years. She works with local teens and the community to give them hope.
Because people kind of feel like they're alienated sometimes and they have to be a part of something.
The center is the heart of the neighborhood. They welcome spring with fresh flowers and vegetables in the garden beds. The Amani neighborhood is the heart of the infamous 53206 zip code, the most incarcerated zip code in the country. They have welcomed declining crime rates for the past year, thanks to COA.
This community can, once again be bright and a wonderful place to be.
Marquette's largest day of service is hunger cleanup. Students head into the community to help combat poverty in Milwaukee.
I hope just to help them out as much as I can, and if I can make their work a little easier by our being here.
It's all to show support for a community that thrives on helping hands.
Do you want us to get all of this?
As much as we can get, yep. And we probably won't be able to tackle it all today.
Because when two communities with service and support on their side join together, there's nothing they can't do.
I think they're pretty done over.
In Milwaukee, I'm Leah Harris, MUTV News.
Who knew getting active and watching a movie can make a difference?
Along with these efforts, the Marquette community put on a movie night for students with a bit of an Earth Day twist. Hannah Kirby has more.
Most movie nights are fueled by popcorn, candy, and soda.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Hey, look, the Golden Gate Bridge.
But this movie night
It's not made out of solid gold like we thought.
is powered by the people. Students for an environmentally active campus teamed up with members of Marquette Cycling Club to generate the power for this movie night.
It's a fun Earth Week event that gets people outside.
The Earth is our home year-round, and we should be good. We should be better about taking care of it.
We're not at a super great spot right now with humans' impact on the environment, so I think it's really important for us to turn that around and start making a positive impact instead of a negative one.
It takes 200 watts produced by bikers and the innovation of two Dans to turn this movie night inside out.
We're both in the music business, and Dan was a fitness instructor, a spin bike instructor, and we decided that we were wasting all this power these people were making, and it would be great if we did something with it.
We started out with a basic car generator, and we got special windings inside. We got specific size sprockets so it turns the most efficiently for the average person.
Right now, I'm putting out about 65 watts at a casual pace.
We built this system to show that, just a couple guys with stationary bikes can make a difference.
From Central Mall, I'm Hannah Kirby, MUTV News.
A Dominican sister who serves Haiti's poor will deliver the 2017 commencement address. Sister Maria Marciano will be the keynote speaker. She will also receive an honorary degree. Marciano is a civil and hydrology engineer educated in economics and business administration. Her work has led to the building of a badly needed road, water systems, and schools. This marks the university's 136th commencement ceremony.
Are you one of the many students that struggles to find time to cook? Well, a company started right here on campus may be able to provide you with exactly what you need. Nicholas Molina has more.
From chopping block to plate, one group of students aims to change the way we eat.
So Marquette Express is aimed towards students here at Marquette. We've noticed there's a food drought going on currently in the central Milwaukee area. So we've aimed to combat that while minimizing students' time that they spend cooking. They get a great nutritious meal, and we aim to deliver every meal for $10.
How does it work?
We function as a medium between caterers and the student body, so we were able to provide fresh food for the students, cook food for the students. Kind of gives students a taste of home.
How did it get started?
We started Marquette Express in an entrepreneurship class this semester. Initially, it kind of started out as a Marquette service for students, just kind of as an addition to the limo service.
Luckily enough, with the class, we have the option to make it into a real business after we essentially graduate.
From Marquette University, I'm Nicholas Molina, MUTV News.
Well, joining us now is Amelia Jones, who thankfully didn't drown on her way over here.
Yes, Max, I did not drown. But also, the rain was a little spotty, so to be honest, we really only had one downpour today. But let's talk a little bit right now for everyone else on campus about what is going on right now in Milwaukee. So current temperature is 73 degrees with a dew point of 49, and our humidity is at a 43%. So if you're walking outside, it could be a little wet with a little rain going down and definitely a little humid. So I would definitely be wearing your rain jacket. And our high today was 73 degrees, so we're at the peak of our temperature right now. The low was 47, and the average was 58, and the low was 41. And the records, actually in 1962, the high was 85, and in 1972, the low was 27 degrees. So we're lucky about that today. And if you take a look at the nation, around the nation, you can see that Milwaukee and Chicago was actually warmer than California. So we had 59 degrees, so more of a cooler day for those Cali people. And then up here in the Midwest, we had 74 degrees, so we were feeling a little bit of that summer, which is great. And of course, down here in Texas was 93. So they were definitely feeling the heat a little bit, but that's okay. Here in Wisconsin, we had a really nice 73 degrees in Milwaukee, 56 in Madison, 43 in Eau Claire, 50 in Wausau, and 68 in Green Bay. So tonight, if you're headed to the library or you're walking home from class, it's definitely going to be a little rainy with a high of 62. So it's going to feel nice outside, but definitely wear your rain jacket. And also tomorrow for class, again, wear your rain jackets, maybe a sweater or another jacket because your low will be 47 degrees with winds coming out the west at 14. So you may not drown tonight, but tomorrow morning, definitely up in the air a little bit. So I don't know, were you guys in the downpour this morning or did you escape that?
I avoided it, thankfully.
Yeah, no, I missed it too.
You missed it too?
I'm just glad that the lane went up.
Of course.
So when we return, James Reagan will have your Golden Eagles sports update.
Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Welcome back for the final time tonight.
Let's send it over to James Reagan, who has the latest on all the Marquette sports.
Thanks, guys. It's been a rough week and a half for the Marquette's men's lacrosse team as they lost their third game in a row on Saturday, 11-7. After Ryan McNamara opened their scoring for the Golden Eagles, the Duke Blue Devils responded with a trio of goals. Despite leading their opponents in shots for the fourth game in a row and a 13-save effort from Cole Blazier, Marquette was still unable to come up with their first ever win over this Duke program. It was senior day for the Marquette's women's lacrosse team, and what a way to go out. The team scored a whopping 19 goals to to record their 5th win of the season, holding the 1-5 Butler Bulldogs to only 2 goals. Juliana Shearer scored 5 times to give herself a Big East leading 52 goals on the season. The Golden Eagles will wrap up the 2017 season on the road, traveling to Nashville, Tennessee to face Vanderbilt this Sunday. Marquette University John Krasowski is the Big East Field Athlete of the Week after winning the javelin with a huge throw over the weekend. Krasowski's throw currently ranked 7th in the West region and 13th nationally. It fell less than a meter shy of the lifetime best mark, 72.23 meters. The senior will be vying for his 4th Big East javelin title, a few weeks, and 4th straight trip to the NCAA West prelims at the end of May. Heading south to the land of the Lincoln, the Marquette University men's and women's track and field teams set a select few to compete in the Illinois Twilight on Saturday. Brendan McKinney recorded a personal best in the hammer throw, a mark of 53.38 meters, while Gemma Tashidi led the jumpers on the women's side with a second-place finish in the pole vault, jumping a mark of 3.75 meters. Several members of the both men's and women's teams will be competing at the Drake Relays. Marquette's men's golf beat out Division II UW Parkside in Big East Championship tune-up last Friday, behind senior Henry Klongland, who shot an even par 71 to lead the way for Marquette in the victory. The Golden Eagles are now geared up for the Big East Championship in South Carolina next Sunday. Farrell enters the tournament second in the conference in scoring average at just 72 strokes per round. The Marquette University men's tennis team is the number 5 seed in the 2007 Big East tournament, where they will face number 4 Xavier. The tournament is in South Carolina for the 2nd year. The winner of the 8-team tournament will receive an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. The women's tennis team will also travel to South Carolina as the number 5 seed in the tennis championship. The 14-7 Golden Eagles will face off against the 4th-seeded Xavier, a team they lost to earlier this season. The tournament kicks off this Thursday. That's all I have for you guys tonight. Thanks for letting me talk to you. I'm James Reagan. Now let's send it back over to Shamama and Max.
Thank you, James. Speaking of thank yous, writing thank you cards seems like a thing of the past, but this week, Marquette students put their writing skills to the test.
Students had the chance to show their gratitude to those who give to the school. MUTV's John Hand has the story.
Do you guys like a cookie?
Give a college kid a cookie, and he or she will fill out a donor thank you card?
Always it helps to have a treat, I think. Like anyone. I remember being in college, like I love those free treats.
Free food to a college student is like finding an oasis in a desert. So naturally, Marquette students flock to the Love a Donor Day tables outside the AMU. Although the reason for stopping was food, students took a moment to show their appreciation for financial aid by writing thank you cards to Marquette donors.
I think it's really important to just take time out of your day to thank the people who are helping Marquette grow and become the great place it is.
More than 23,855 people donated to Marquette last year. That includes 800 donors who are recent graduates.
Many of our donors are in fact alumni or affiliated with an alum. And when you have a great experience and you feel like it was a very meaningful stage of your life going to college here at Marquette, I think it really drives you and motivates you to then return the favor to another student who maybe wouldn't be able to go unless they received scholarship help.
Last year, alumni alone contributed a whopping $32 million to Marquette.
I think Marquette does a lot for students. It provides people with great education. It does a lot for the community. I know if I become successful in my career and are financially able to support Marquette, I definitely would.
Cookies might make the school sweet.
Free cookies if you would.
That's all we have for you guys tonight. Thanks for tuning in. For MUTV, I'm Max Templin.
And I'm Shamama Mahmood. Have a great rest of your week, Marquette.